What if I told you that the greatest freedom you will ever experience is not becoming stronger than other people, but becoming so peaceful that no one can control you? Imagine reaching a place where criticism no longer steals your peace, rejection no longer defines your worth, betrayal no longer has the power to break your spirit, and the opinions of others no longer decide how you feel about yourself. Most people spend their entire lives trying to change the world around them, but the Buddha revealed a far greater path. The moment you stop needing the world to behave differently, the world loses its power over your mind. Real peace does not arrive after life becomes easier. Real peace is what makes life powerless to disturb you. In this video, you will discover 5 timeless Buddhist teachings that can free you from emotional reactions, dissolve the invisible chains of fear, anger, and attachment, and help you develop an unshakable mind that no person, no circumstance, and no hardship can ever truly control. Because the day no one can control your emotions is the day you become the master of your own life. So if you're tired of overthinking, tired of carrying emotional weight that was never yours, and ready to discover a deeper kind of freedom, then stay with me until the very end. The 5th lesson is the one most people ignore, yet it has the power to completely transform the way you think, respond, and live every single day. And before we begin, if you're on a journey to cultivate inner peace, wisdom, and lasting happiness through the timeless teachings of Buddhism, subscribe to the channel and become part of our growing community. Also, leave a comment below with the words, "I choose peace." It is more than a comment, it is a commitment to yourself. Now, take one slow, mindful breath, quiet your mind, open your heart, and let's begin. 1. The moment someone can disturb your peace, they have already become your master. Think about the last time someone upset you. Maybe they ignored your message. Maybe they spoke to you with disrespect. Maybe they judged you. Maybe they lied to you. Or maybe they simply did not treat you the way you hoped they would. What happened next? The event may have lasted only a few seconds, but your mind continued replaying it for hours. Perhaps even days. You kept thinking about what they said, what you should have said, why they acted that way, whether they were right, whether you were enough. Notice something important. The other person may have already moved on with their life, but your mind stayed with them. Your body was sitting in one place, yet your attention was trapped somewhere else. This is how peace quietly disappears. Most people believe they suffer because of other people. Buddhism asks a different question. Why does another person's behavior have so much power over your inner world? Imagine someone holding a remote control. Every time they praise you, you feel happy. Every time they ignore you, you feel anxious. Every time they criticize you, you feel angry. Every time they approve of you, you feel confident again. Who is really controlling your emotions? The person holding the remote, or the person who keeps reacting to every button that is pressed? The Buddha taught that suffering does not begin with what happens outside of us. It begins with how tightly the mind holds on to what happens. 2 people can hear the same insult. One becomes angry for weeks. The other smiles, understands the pain behind those words, and continues walking peacefully. The insult was the same. The difference was the mind receiving it. This is why peace is never created by changing everyone around you. There will always be difficult people. There will always be misunderstanding. There will always be criticism. If your peace depends on the world becoming gentle, you will spend your whole life waiting. Many people say, "I will be peaceful when people stop hurting me." But that day may never come. The wiser path is different. I will learn not to give other people control over my peace. That changes everything. Think about how much energy is lost every single day. Someone does not reply. You worry. Someone succeeds. You compare yourself. Someone disagrees with you. You feel attacked. Someone forgets to appreciate you. You feel invisible. Without realizing it, your emotional life is being controlled by things you cannot control. This is not freedom. It is dependence, wearing the mask of normal life. The ego believes every situation needs a reaction. It whispers, defend yourself, prove them wrong, make them understand, win the argument. But awareness quietly asks a different question. Will this protect my peace or destroy it? There is a beautiful kind of strength that many people never discover. It is the strength to remain calm when the world expects you to react, not because you are weak, not because you are afraid, but because you understand something deeper. Every unnecessary reaction is a gift of your energy, and your energy is too valuable to hand to people who have not earned it. This does not mean becoming silent forever. It does not mean allowing injustice. It does not mean pretending pain does not exist. Sometimes you must speak. Sometimes you must leave. Sometimes you must set clear boundaries. But there is a huge difference between acting from wisdom and reacting from wounded emotions. One creates freedom, the other creates more suffering. The peaceful person is not someone who never feels hurt. The peaceful person simply refuses to let hurt become the ruler of their mind. That is real self-mastery. The moment another person's words decide whether you have a good day or a bad day, they are no longer influencing your life. They are directing it. And that is a dangerous place to live. Because people change, opinions change, relationships change, life changes. If your peace depends on things that constantly change, your peace will constantly disappear. The Buddha invited people to discover something that cannot be taken away, a mind that stays steady whether people praise you or criticize you, whether they stay or leave, whether they understand you or misunderstand you, because true peace does not come from controlling other people. It comes from no longer allowing other people to control you. So the next time someone tries to pull you into anger, pause, take one slow breath, ask yourself, am I about to hand this person the keys to my peace? If the answer is yes, smile gently, let the moment pass, and keep walking, because the greatest victory is not proving someone else wrong. The greatest victory is protecting the peace that no one else has the power to give, and no one else should have the power to take away. 2. Every attachment silently hands your inner peace to someone else. There is a quiet truth that many people spend their whole lives avoiding. The more tightly you hold on to something, the more power it has over your mind. At first, this sounds strange. We are taught that holding on is a sign of love. Holding on to people, holding on to success, holding on to respect, holding on to dreams, holding on to the life we imagined. But Buddhism gently asks a different question. What happens when life takes away the very thing you are holding so tightly? This is where suffering begins. Not because something changed, but because your peace was tied to something that was never meant to stay forever. Look closely at nature. The seasons change without asking permission. The flowers bloom, then they fade. The leaves grow, then they fall. The river never clings to the water that has already passed. Everything in nature keeps moving. Only the human mind keeps saying, stay, don't change, don't leave me. I need this to remain exactly as it is. And when life refuses to obey, the mind suffers. Many people believe attachment means love, but they are not the same. Love allows. Attachment demands. Love gives freedom. Attachment fears losing control. Love says, I am grateful you are here. Attachment says, I cannot be okay without you. Can you feel the difference? One comes from peace. The other comes from fear. Think about someone who cannot stop checking their phone. Every few minutes, they look to see if a message has arrived. Not because they are curious, because their emotional state now depends on another person's response. A single notification brings relief. Silence brings anxiety. The phone is not controlling them. Their attachment is. The same thing happens in relationships. Some people are not afraid of being alone. They are afraid of facing themselves without someone to distract them, so they cling. Even when the relationship causes pain, even when respect has disappeared, even when trust has been broken, not because they are happy, but because attachment whispers, anything is better than letting go. This is how attachment quietly becomes a prison. The Buddha never taught people to stop loving. He taught them to stop turning love into possession. You can care deeply for someone without making them responsible for your happiness. You can appreciate someone without believing your life loses its meaning if they leave. This is not coldness. It is freedom. Real love does not say, you complete me. Real love says, I was already whole before we met, and I choose to walk beside you. That kind of love is peaceful. It does not beg. It does not chase. It does not constantly fear tomorrow. Because it understands one simple truth. Everything we meet in this life is temporary. Our youth, our health, our possessions, our achievements, even the people we love most. This truth is not meant to make you sad. It is meant to wake you up. When you truly understand that everything changes, you begin appreciating each moment instead of trying to own it. You stop demanding forever. And you start being thankful for today. Notice how much fear disappears when you stop trying to control what cannot be controlled. You no longer panic when life changes. You no longer fall apart every time someone chooses a different path. You no longer build your identity around things that can disappear overnight. Instead, you build it on awareness. Awareness cannot be stolen. Peace cannot be stolen unless you give it away. This does not mean you will never feel sadness. Even the wisest person feels loss. Even the calmest heart feels grief. The difference is this: a peaceful person allows pain to pass through. An attached mind refuses to let it leave. It keeps reopening old memories, repeating old conversations, imagining different endings, fighting battles that ended long ago. And with every repetition, it creates fresh suffering. How much of your pain today comes from what actually happened? And how much comes from refusing to release it? That question can change your life. Imagine carrying a heavy stone everywhere you go. After a while, your shoulders begin to ache. Your back becomes tired. Walking feels difficult. Now imagine someone asking, "Why don't you put the stone down?" You answer, "I've carried it for so long. It feels like part of me." This is exactly what attachment does. It convinces you that what is hurting you is also what you need. The Buddha invites you to try something different, not to stop caring, but to loosen your grip, to stop trying to own what was only meant to be experienced, to let people be who they are, to let life unfold in its own time, to stop fighting every change as if change were your enemy. Because change is not your enemy. Resistance is. The moment you stop demanding that life follow your plans, life becomes much lighter. You breathe more deeply. You smile more easily. You sleep more peacefully, not because every problem disappears, but because your peace is no longer chained to outcomes you cannot control. So ask yourself honestly, what are you holding so tightly today? A person? An expectation? A memory? A dream that no longer belongs to your path? Whatever it is, look at it with kindness. Take one slow breath and gently loosen your grip. Because the hand that refuses to let go can never be open enough to receive the peace that has been waiting there all along. 3. True power is born the day you no longer need anyone to feel whole. Most people spend their lives searching for power. They believe power comes from money, from success, from popularity, from influence, from being admired, from always winning. But if you look carefully, you will notice something surprising. Many people who seem powerful on the outside are deeply dependent on what others think of them. They cannot handle criticism. They fear rejection. They constantly seek attention. They need to be noticed. They need to be praised. They need to feel important. If those things disappear, their confidence disappears with them. Is that really power? Or is it another form of dependence? The Buddha taught that real strength is not found in controlling the world. It is found in understanding your own mind. Because a person who has mastered their own mind cannot easily be controlled by anyone else. Think about how often people change themselves just to be accepted. They hide their true opinions. They laugh at jokes they do not find funny. They agree with things they do not believe. They pretend to be someone they are not. Not because they are dishonest, but because they are afraid. Afraid of being judged. Afraid of being left behind. Afraid of not being enough. Without realizing it, they slowly hand their identity to other people. Their happiness now depends on fitting in. Their confidence depends on approval. Their self-worth depends on acceptance. This is a heavy way to live. Because no matter how hard you try, you cannot control what people think about you. Someone will misunderstand you. Someone will dislike you. Someone will judge you without knowing your story. Someone will create an opinion about you based on a single moment. If your peace depends on changing every opinion, you will never rest. The peaceful person understands something different. Not everyone has to understand me. Not everyone has to agree with me. Not everyone has to choose me. And that is okay. Those simple words carry incredible freedom. Imagine standing beneath a mountain. The wind blows. The rain falls. The clouds gather. Then they disappear. Does the mountain chase the clouds? Does it argue with the wind? Does it beg the rain to stay? No, it remains where it is. Steady, quiet, unmoved. The Buddha often pointed people toward this kind of inner stability, not a heart without emotion, but a heart that is no longer pushed in every direction by every passing moment. Many people mistake calmness for weakness. They believe that if you are not reacting, you must be afraid. But the strongest people are often the quietest, because they have nothing to prove. They do not waste energy trying to win every argument. They do not feel the need to explain themselves to everyone. They understand that peace is more valuable than being right. This does not mean they lack confidence. It means their confidence comes from within, not from applause, not from attention, not from approval. Think about a tree with deep roots. When a strong wind arrives, its branches may move, its leaves may fall, but its roots remain firm. Now think about a tree with weak roots. Even a small storm can knock it down. Your mind works the same way. If your roots are planted in other people's opinions, every criticism will shake you. Every rejection will feel like the end of the world. But when your roots are planted in awareness, the storms still come. They simply cannot pull you out of the ground. This is why solitude is so important. Many people are afraid to sit alone in silence. The moment the room becomes quiet, they reach for their phone. They turn on music. They open social media. They search for another distraction, because silence forces them to meet themselves. But the person who becomes comfortable in their own company discovers something beautiful. They stop feeling empty. They stop needing constant attention. They stop chasing people just to escape loneliness. They realize they were never incomplete. They had only forgotten how to enjoy their own presence. The moment you enjoy your own company, the world loses one of its greatest ways of controlling you, because you no longer stay where you are disrespected simply because you fear being alone. You no longer beg for love. You no longer chase people who keep walking away. You no longer accept less than you deserve just to avoid loneliness. Instead, you choose relationships from peace, not from desperation. You choose friendships from wisdom, not from fear. You choose love from fullness, not from emptiness. That changes everything. People may still enter your life. People may still leave. But they no longer take pieces of you with them, because your wholeness was never created by another person. It was always waiting inside you. The Buddha reminded his followers again and again that lasting peace cannot be found outside. The world can offer comfort. It can offer beauty. It can offer companionship. But it cannot give you the one thing you must discover for yourself: a mind that rests peacefully within itself. This is real power. Not the power to control others, but the power to remain yourself in every situation, to stay kind in a world that rewards anger, to stay humble in a world chasing status, to stay peaceful in a world addicted to noise, and to know, deep within your heart, I do not need the world to complete me. I only need to awaken to the peace that has always been within me. The day you truly understand this, no one can make you feel small. No one can steal your confidence. No one can take away your worth, because you have discovered the greatest freedom of all, the freedom of no longer searching outside yourself for what has been quietly living within you all along. 4. The quiet mind cannot be manipulated, intimidated, or controlled. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to influence a restless mind? Tell it something frightening, and it immediately believes the worst. Promise it something exciting, and it begins chasing without thinking. Give it a little praise, and it becomes attached. Give it a little criticism, and it begins doubting itself. A restless mind is like water during a storm. The surface is always moving. Nothing can be seen clearly. Every wave changes what it reflects. This is why the Buddha placed so much importance on stillness. Because a quiet mind sees what a noisy mind cannot. Most people do not make their biggest mistakes because they lack intelligence. They make them because they react before they understand. Someone says something hurtful. They answer with anger. Later, they wish they had stayed silent. Someone makes them feel guilty. They immediately apologize, even when they did nothing wrong. Someone offers them quick success. They rush forward, without asking whether the path is right. The problem is not the situation. The problem is that the mind never paused long enough to see clearly. The world is full of people who know how to influence emotions. Some use fear, some use praise, some use guilt, some use shame, some use attention, some use silence. Not everyone does this on purpose, but the result is often the same. If your emotions always decide your actions, someone else can quietly decide your direction. That is why awareness is one of the greatest forms of protection. Awareness creates a small space between what happens and how you respond. That small space changes everything. Inside that space, you are free, free to breathe, free to observe, free to choose wisdom instead of impulse. Imagine someone throws a burning piece of coal toward you. Would you catch it with your bare hands? Of course not. Then why do we catch every insult, every opinion, every accusation, every negative word? Just because someone throws something at you does not mean you have to carry it. The quiet mind understands this. It listens, it observes, it asks, does this belong to me? If the answer is no, it lets the moment pass. How much suffering could disappear from your life if you stopped collecting things that were never yours to carry? Think about how many sleepless nights begin with a single thought. What if they don't like me? What if I fail? What if everything goes wrong? The mind creates stories, then it believes the stories, then the body reacts as though those stories are already true. But awareness gently interrupts. It says, that is only a thought. It is not reality. This is one of the most beautiful lessons in Buddhist practice. You are not every thought that enters your mind. Thoughts come, thoughts go, just like clouds passing across the sky. The sky never fights the clouds. It simply allows them to pass. Your awareness is like that sky, calm, open, untouched. But most people identify with every passing thought. I am angry. I am anxious. I am a failure. I am not enough. The Buddha invites you to look more deeply. Instead of saying, I am angry, simply notice, anger is present. Instead of saying, I am afraid, notice, fear is visiting my mind. Do you see the difference? One becomes your identity. The other becomes an experience that will eventually pass. Everything changes. Every emotion changes. Every thought changes. Nothing remains forever. When you truly understand this, you stop making permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. You stop speaking words you will later regret. You stop allowing one painful moment to define your entire life. The quiet mind is patient. It knows that clarity often arrives after emotion settles. That is why wise people do not rush. They pause, not because they are confused, because they understand the value of waiting until the water becomes clear. Have you ever looked into a lake after a storm? The water is cloudy. You cannot see the bottom. But if you leave it alone, without stirring it, slowly everything settles. The water becomes clear again. Your mind works the same way. You do not always need to solve every problem immediately. Sometimes, you simply need to stop stirring the water. Stop replaying the argument. Stop imagining the worst outcome. Stop feeding the fear with more thoughts. Give your mind the silence it has been asking for. Clarity grows naturally in a peaceful mind. The world will always be noisy. People will continue sharing opinions. Social media will continue demanding your attention. There will always be pressure to react quickly, to choose sides, to defend yourself, to prove something. But you do not have to join every storm. You do not have to answer every criticism. You do not have to carry every burden that someone places in front of you. There is incredible freedom in simply remaining still, because stillness is not weakness. It is discipline. It is wisdom. It is self-mastery. The person who can remain calm while everyone else is reacting often sees the truth long before anyone else, and that is why they cannot be easily manipulated. They cannot be intimidated. They cannot be controlled. Not because life has become easier, but because their mind has become quieter. And a quiet mind is one of the greatest forms of freedom a human being can ever discover. 5. When nothing outside you can shake you, you have finally found freedom. There comes a moment on the Buddhist path when you stop asking one important question: how can I make life easier? Instead, you begin asking, how can I become so peaceful that life no longer controls me? That single change transforms everything. Most people spend years trying to arrange the outside world. They want better people, better circumstances, better timing, better opportunities, better luck. They believe that once everything around them becomes perfect, their mind will finally become peaceful. But life has never worked that way. The moment one problem disappears, another one arrives. One fear leaves, another takes its place. One chapter ends, a new one begins. If your peace depends on life becoming effortless, peace will always remain somewhere in the future. The Buddha offered a completely different path. Instead of waiting for the world to become calm, become the calm that the world cannot disturb. Imagine standing in the middle of a powerful storm. The wind is strong, the rain is heavy, the trees are bending, everything around you is moving. Now imagine a great mountain standing in the middle of that same storm. The wind touches it, the rain falls upon it, the clouds pass over it. Yet the mountain remains exactly where it is. It does not fight the storm, it does not fear the storm, it simply remains what it is. This is the kind of mind Buddhism invites us to develop. Not a mind without emotion, but a mind with deep roots. A mind that does not lose itself every time life changes. There will still be moments of sadness. You will still lose people you love. You will still face disappointment. You will still experience uncertainty. Awakening does not remove life's challenges. It changes your relationship with them. Before awareness, every difficulty feels personal. You ask, why is this happening to me? After awareness, a quieter question appears. What is this moment teaching me? One question creates resistance. The other creates wisdom. This is why truly peaceful people often seem different. They are not rushing through life. They are present. They listen more than they speak. They observe more than they judge. They respond more than they react. They no longer feel the need to win every argument, to impress every stranger, to prove their worth. Because they already know something the restless mind keeps forgetting. Your value has never depended on another person's opinion. Your peace has never depended on another person's approval. Your freedom has never depended on another person's behavior. It has always depended on the condition of your own mind. Think back to the person you were years ago. How many things once felt like the end of the world? A rejection, a mistake, a disappointment, a harsh opinion. At that time, you believed those moments would define your future forever, but they didn't. Life kept moving. You kept growing. The pain passed. Now imagine how many worries you carry today that will one day become another distant memory. The mind believes every storm is permanent. Wisdom knows every storm eventually passes. That is why the peaceful person does not panic when life becomes difficult. They have learned to trust the passing nature of all things. They know that joy comes and goes, pain comes and goes, success comes and goes, failure comes and goes. Even the person you are today is changing with every breath. When you deeply understand this truth, you stop trying to hold the river still. You simply learn to flow with it. There is an old habit that quietly steals peace from millions of people. The habit of believing, I will be happy when, I will be peaceful when, I will finally relax when I have more money, when I find the right relationship, when people respect me, when life becomes easier. The mind keeps placing peace somewhere ahead, but tomorrow keeps becoming another tomorrow. Years pass, and peace never arrives because it was never waiting in the future. It was waiting beneath all the noise you carried inside yourself. The moment you stop chasing peace, you begin noticing it. It was there in the silence between your thoughts. It was there in every slow breath. It was there while watching the sunrise, while listening to the rain, while sitting quietly with no need to become anyone else. Peace has always been simple. The restless mind is what made it seem difficult. Perhaps the greatest freedom of all is realizing that nobody owes you peace. No person, no relationship, no achievement, no possession, because the peace you discover within yourself cannot be taken by changing circumstances. It cannot be stolen by rejection. It cannot be destroyed by criticism. It cannot disappear because someone walked away. It lives deeper than all of those things. And once you discover it, you stop living as a prisoner of the world. You begin living as a friend of the present moment. People may still misunderstand you. Bless them. People may still criticize you. Let them. People may still leave your life. Wish them well. Life may still surprise you. Welcome it, because your heart has finally learned something it spent years searching for. You were never meant to control every person. You were never meant to control every outcome. You were never meant to control life itself. You were only meant to awaken to the quiet place within you that has always been untouched by praise or blame, success or failure, gain or loss, arrival or departure. And when you reach that place, something extraordinary happens. You stop asking the world to protect your peace, because you have become the protector of your own mind, no longer chasing, no longer clinging, no longer fearing every change. Simply breathing, simply observing, simply living, that is true freedom, that is true strength, and perhaps that is what the Buddha was pointing toward all along. A peace so deep that no person, no situation, and no storm can ever control you again. If this message touched something deep inside you, don't let it end as just another video you watched. Close your eyes for a moment. Take one slow breath and ask yourself, what is one thing I have been allowing to control my peace? That single question may become the beginning of a completely different life. Remember, the greatest victory is not changing other people. It is becoming so peaceful that no one has the power to change you. If this teaching brought you clarity, share it with someone who may need it today. And if you're walking this path of mindfulness, wisdom, and inner freedom, subscribe and join our community. Every week, we explore timeless Buddhist teachings that help you suffer less, think more clearly, and live with a peaceful mind. Until our next journey together, protect your peace, guard your mind, and never forget, the strongest person is not the one who controls the world. It is the one who has finally learned to master themselves.